Hi, I'm Florence Eshalomi. I'm the local Member of Parliament for Vauxhall, and it's so good to be here today with Creative Sparkworks, just to learn a bit more about the organisation. And I'm going to be interviewed by some young people who are also my constituents, and looking forward to that.
And please share with us something about yourself that you're working on improving to make yourself better MP.
What do they all say? You know, politicians talk too much, right? And I've got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, and my 8-year-old said to me the other day, "Mummy, you talk too much. Do you know that?" So I think you know, the art of communication is listening as well. So sometimes it is easy to just keep talking, but actually listening. So one of the things I try and do is just go, when I go and visit groups and organisations, just listen to their concerns. And I think just knowing that, you know, there'll be times when I'll make mistakes, and one of you asked about, you know, young people feeling that politics isn't for them. It's about being honest enough to say, do you know what, I got that wrong.
What impact do you think youth organization have in a local MP, in a local community like our local community like we got here? What do you think, like for example, Creative Sparkworks, London Youth Work, what impact does this organization have, and this organization, do they need more partnership?
And I look back to some of the organisations, charities, community groups that were around when I was growing up in Brixton. A lot of those groups have gone. A lot of them do not exist anymore because funding across the youth sector has been decimated. And it pains me that youth services is not seen as a statutory provision. So that means it's not one of the core functions that have to be funded by a council or government. And it's about saying, you know, I totally value education, health, all the other areas, but seeing, when I look back at some of the youth groups that I've worked with, continue to work with, the impact they have on young people's lives, they need to be funded, they need to be at the table, they need to be congratulated, because the help and impact they make to an individual's life, for some of those young people who don't go through the educational route, the work that the youth worker does for them is so invaluable. And we will see those savings, because getting those young people involved and engaged will mean that young person doesn't sadly get caught up in violence or crime or something else. And, you know, the state will then be paying for that further on. So it's so important. You look at the salary of a youth worker, you look at some of the organisations, you look at the building some of these youth groups are working in. A number of these youth groups are literally surviving on small loans, grants. And we need to turn that around and value the work that youth services and youth organisations do, because as far as I'm concerned, especially representing this part of London and Vauxhall, where sadly we do have some issues with violence and violent youth crime, the youth services, as far as I'm concerned, they're the fourth emergency service.
What do you want to be remembered, and what's your legacy you want to leave us with?
The great Maya Angelou said, it's not about what you say, and people remember how you made them feel. So I believe in the power of mentoring. I think it's so important. I had a mentor when I started my political journey. I've mentored young women. I'm mentoring 2 women at the moment, and it's so important for me to look at what I learn and what the skills I'm gaining, passing that on. So I think that's really important. I think it's more important as well in getting more people who look and sound like me, not just involved in politics, but in every sphere of public life. We need more voices and more diverse voices in those areas. So, you know, if you come back to me in 40 years and say, what would be my legacy? It would be to say, at least I know that I've helped one person fulfill that ambition in terms of being active in public life. Leaders are made. I say that because with the right support, guidance, training, help, anyone can be a leader. And there are many different types of leaders. Some people are best suited not to be leaders. They can be in the back advising leaders. But I think there's leadership qualities in all of us. It's how we choose to bring it out. And I think it's again looking at empowering people to find their own unique voice. Again, I said that, you know, we've all got that powerful tool in terms of using our voice to make change, to bring about good things, and to make sure that we are there not just for ourselves. And I think true leadership and people who tap into that and find that are people who are willing to give away that power, because it's not just about keeping the power for yourself, it's about giving away that power. So I think for me, leaders are made if they can find that inner voice and that confidence to help and support other people. Because failure helps you in terms of learning. It's good to fail, and actually it's better to fail so that you can then go back and do something and appreciate that success more. And always remember that in terms of failing and fail, FAIL, first attempt in learning. So it's good to fail, and we shouldn't be afraid to fail. Creative Sparkwork, support them, fantastic organisation.